Hey, why don't you
So
get us kicked off and let's get things
yeah,
rolling?
I'm super excited about this. Like Jason said, I mean, so take that with a grain of salt. We're not self-promoters, but episode 105 of the HA Free webinar series is kind of falls in line with what we do on a regular basis. Jason and I and our entire team working with nonprofits, we coach people every day. And what I like to say is, we've come up with three really, really cool ways. I like to leave conversations with folks or planning or coaching conversations, especially about an event that's upcoming quickly. We like to give folks three ways, proven ironclad ways that you can raise money. We're going to use some of our items as, like I said, set pieces, just for illustrative purposes. And it's because it's our business and it's what we know. And that's what we do, is share this information. At the end of the day, you don't have to use our items for these practices. You can use donated items. You can use other consignment items. Of course, we'd like for you to use ours, but there's a purpose and a place for everything. Take these practices though, and let's keep the questions coming. We want it to be interactive, have a conversation about that, but take these practices and utilize them, utilize all of them, utilize one of them at your next event, because we've come up with some really, really cool ways, very, very easy ways, as a matter of fact, if implemented correctly, that you can raise a lot of money at your next event. Okay.
Well,
So
and I think that's exactly the thing. These are just strategies that you can do. We talk about, and this is really where we're getting into the tactics of them, and we're going to talk about that, how you can tactically put those in to accomplish. There's strategy that, these are the things that I want to do, and then this is the how to. These are
correct.
these are fundraising strategies that you can put in the tactical level.
Yep.
These are tactics that you can use to hit your strategic goals. Well, please stay to the end when we're going to give away a trip, and please, questions, chat's open. Ask any question throughout this. We don't want to leave any questions gone. Again, I'm coming in from Dallas today, so remotely, and Trevor from the great state of Northern California.
Far northern, far way
far
up there.
north. So I'm going to talk about three things that we believe raise a significant amount of money for events. Trevor talks about our coaching. Probably 90% of the time we're talking about coaching, and those of you who have taken advantage of it know that we spend most of our time talking about how to get the right people in the room, getting the right strategy, the underwritten sponsorship levels,
Pre-event fundraising,
hit our goals,
Yep.
Identifying our donors, maybe how to make that ask, rephrase how we're making our asks, and we spend most of our time doing that. And then we get to this part is really it's the pre-event fundraising is where we spend most of our time coaching. But when we get to this part, it really comes to how are we going to raise the money in the room? We've done all the homework. We've got the people there. Now it's time to figure out how to do that. The three things that we have found that raise the most money, and we've helped people raise millions. I don't hesitate to say that because it's the truth. Yeah. And these things work. We know they work because the people that use our stuff, we know because how many trips we sell, and we sell a lot. And I'm not saying that to pat ourselves on the back or to say everything. I'm just saying the strategies themselves work.
These strategies work. Yeah.
The first thing is we're going to talk about, and I'm going to take over the screen here for just a second, Trev. Yep. And we're going to talk about, if I can get my little thingy working here.
Yeah, you're in a foreign land, so
yeah, it's just I don't have all my bells and whistles like I normally.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll just talk our way through it.
So this is the golden ticket trifecta. The golden ticket trifecta means three ways that you can use this strategy to raise money. It works with your sponsorship and underwriting. You sell 100 tickets for $100. You sell the additional golden ticket as a live auction item, and you can net. These are net dollars, $8,000 to $15,000. It's just it works. I'm also going to tell you how you can use. We have an item that we talk about that, but I want you to think of it not just as using our golden ticket, but what you can do with maybe something that you have. And I'll give you a couple of examples when we get to it. So the first thing is sell 100 tickets for $100. You can do pre-event sales. You can, just use. Basically, they don't have to be present to win. This is something you can sell. Give it to somebody. My recommendation is that you don't go print up tickets. A lot of people used to do that in the past, but now with electronics, things like that, you just kind of enter somebody in, get their number, and do it. At the event, you sell these. Don't take cash, don't take a credit card because it slows everything down. You want to do this quick transaction. Think about it. If it takes 3 minutes to do a transaction, you have to do 100 times, it's 300 minutes.
That's
That
a lot.
doesn't work.
Be efficient. Yeah.
But if you just walk up there and say, hey, we talked about this as we go, is use the bidder number. Put it on the bidder number. Now, one of the things that I've had people say, and it's kind of funny because they'll say, but hey, we did this last year, and golly, we had 3 people that didn't pay.
Mm-hmm.
So how many tickets did you sell? We sold 100 of them. So you raised $9,700. You go, yeah. So you're going to not raise $9,700 this year because you didn't collect 300?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, well, I hadn't thought about it like that because I had to. So, there's give and take is what I want to tell you.
Yeah.
That rarely happens, we hear, but that's the deal. So using the bidder numbers, that's why whenever you're walking around the room, you've got your team to do it. Just say, hey, all I need is your number. Because, ladies are standing there, you got your glass of wine in one hand and usually your cell phone in the other, and you're talking to somebody. Guys, same thing. Everybody starts digging through their pockets. It just makes it so much easier and quick. Put the golden ticket at the top. So that means on your software, please make sure that you're using software. Put that as the very first item on your bidding software. Mm-hmm. And then sell tickets from the microphone. Mm-hmm. Selling tickets, that means
any leftover tickets night of, yeah.
Yeah, you know what, I'm sitting here, I've done sponsorship, going back to sponsorships and underwriting, but anyway. You're going to sell them from the microphone. So that's how you do it. So the night of, auctioneer gets up there.
MC, whoever might be.
You got 20 tickets left. You've sold 80. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the golden ticket. Everybody hold your golden ticket up. Who has it? Okay, I've got 20 left. Who all wants those? And people will start raising their numbers up automatically. I've never seen it where they didn't just automatically start raising numbers up. And you go 86, 25. It takes a little coordination. You got to have 2 volunteers, one person to write down the numbers as the auctioneer says them. Mm-hmm. And the second is somebody writing it on a ticket and dropping it in the fishbowl. That's the easiest. There are software that, there's some software platforms, they have an electronic raffle. Just do that. It's a really simple thing.
A randomizer. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a simple program.
What's astounding to me about the product itself, it's going to sound simple, but it's such a digestible price point. It's only $100. So folks are going to want to get involved, especially if there's last minute tickets.
It's 1 in 100 chance.
Yeah.
It's 1 in 100 chance. Yeah.
And they're only $100. The opportunity to win is really, really fun. And there's just seldom so many opportunities or seldom items that you can sell one time, essentially. I know you're selling 100 tickets, but you're only using one item, right? Whether it's our golden ticket or something else that you can raise $10,000 with or more, So rare.
Speaking of that, sponsorship and underwriting. So I'm using 2,000 because that's the cost of what we sell. We sell ours for $19.95. You can use other trips. Yep. And you don't have to just do 100. I mean, we also, we've done $200, $250, raised 25 grand.
There's flexibility.
It's flexibility, and it all depends upon your gala. Mm-hmm. $2,000 to $5,000. You can do it for more. It really depends, but don't get stuck on, I've just got to recover costs. We want you to make money on this.
I talked to an organization, a very, very well-known large organization, like name brand charity yesterday. And she's like, I'm going to sell it for I'm going to offer it for 3 times that cost. And she was using our golden ticket. So that means she's going to sell it for $6,000. Okay.
Well, we had somebody said, she got 2 $2,500 sponsors for it.
Perfect. And it's the golden ticket presented by, sponsored by company XYZ. Husband and wife XYZ, foundation XYZ, great underwriting opportunity. And the pitch is, hey, you're underwriting this, you're helping us cover the costs. It's going to help us though raise, $10,000 net dollars if we sell 100 tickets. And supporters will want to get behind that.
Yeah, it's a simple deal. Golden ticket to live auction.
Underutilized.
We have auctioneers who do this all the time.
Yep.
And I'd say we have clients that have done this where after they pull the golden ticket, yay, Trevor Nelson won.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you wanted to do something, but I just got notice that I can sell another ticket. And that becomes the first auction item. Now,
Yeah,
people
super
always ask
fun.
me, do I list it as the first auction item? Do not list
Oh,
it.
it's impromptu.
This
Yeah.
is impromptu kind of a deal. Oh my gosh, because everybody's cheering. We've got everybody excited. I know there's
Mhm.
someone here that wanted that deal, and so we can do it again. That's the great thing about doing it if you consign it. Now, we talked about consign. We're talking about this if we sell it more than once.
Mhm.
But what if it's something that we wanted to use? So I'm going to give you an example of that.
Mhm.
Had a client. They had a beautiful piece of custom designed jewelry. Um,
Yep.
very nice. But they started talking about what do you think it's going to do? And in my estimate, it was a very specific piece, and it might not do what they wanted it to do.
We don't want any flops in the live.
Well,
Yeah.
basically, they wanted to raise $8,000,
Mhm.
or that's what they said the value was, like 8,000.
Right.
I just, and it was one of those things. This was a hybrid event. This a couple of years ago during COVID. It was a hybrid event. I just, it was one of those things. I said, why don't we use this as your golden ticket? They go, oh, we hadn't thought of that. We sold tickets for $200. We sold 43 tickets. It raised $8,600. The nonprofit was tickled to death. The winner was tickled to death, and the donor was tickled to death. Everybody, it was a great deal. I love when somebody donates a piece of jewelry, especially if it's nice, to do that with it, because jewelry at auction is tough. I mean, I'm just telling you, it is. I'm not saying it. If you've got somebody that donates a piece of jewelry, it just depends on what it is.
Conventional wisdom dictates that a lot of people would want to throw that in the silent, for instance, but it's probably not going to get the money that we think or that we even know it's worth, right? So we don't want to flop in the live auction. So it's such a great underutilized strategy.
And that's why it's just, it works really good. So, so once again, here's the math, because that's what we want to talk about. You get us 3,000 for a sponsorship. You sell 100 tickets for $100. That's 10 grand. You sold 2 of them at the live auction for 4,000 each, and you raised gross 21,000. The 3 golden tickets cost you 6,000.
Yeah.
And the cost here, so you netted $15,000.
Yeah. Does all that make sense to everybody?
Yeah. And best practices: do not try to sell more than 100 tickets. You raise more money by raising the ticket price. Okay, so if you want to raise more money, raise the ticket price. And the reason I say that, with one exception of the hundreds of we've done this, and I'm saying probably 500 times that we've seen this done, and we work with clients to do this. Only one time have I known anybody to set a goal higher than that and sell more tickets.
Sure.
They just fall short. And a lot of times they go, yeah, we want to do 200 tickets or 300 tickets.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tickets to sell. And
for sure, it takes a lot of power, a lot of people power too, right?
And it does. And so why not just sell 100 tickets, raise the price to $300?
And we get confronted with
that. Yeah. Give a nice surprise away.
I love that.
I can tell you the ones that sell the best, that sell out more than any that I've ever seen, and they sell out before the auctioneer ever has a chance to get up there to the microphone, the $250 golden ticket.
Yeah. I think people have a little bit of trepidation about that, but I once again, I was talking to an organization this week, and they said, I like the higher price point because of the prestige that comes with it, or the exclusivity, I suppose, and it's at the end of the day, $250 is still a very digestible price point,
Well,
right?
if you're at a gala where the ticket, you're selling $25,000, $50,000 sponsorships, and if your ticket price is $300,
you have those kinds of people in the room.
You've got capacity in the room to do it.
Yeah.
So, you've got to make a judgment call, but that's just the suggestion that I would make, because it's a really great way. And that's the beauty of this strategy. That's 10 to 25, let's say $10,000. We did a study on events. This is real interesting. This was pre-COVID. So this was in like 2018, 2019, and looked at a lot of events. And the reality was that was the single strategy that pushed them, that pushed their event up to another level. Yeah. That one single thing that they went back and looked at, and they go, holy cow.
And raised $25,000. Another thing, we get asked this a lot. Hey, what if I don't sell 100 tickets? Jason alluded to that previously, just early on. Hey, what if I don't sell 100 tickets? Well, hey, if you sell, if you've got the $250 golden ticket, and you only sell, 75 tickets, that's not a loss. You just raised 18,750. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
don't think of it as a loss. When Jason gave the illustration about, oh my gosh, we had 3 people fall out, we still sold 97 tickets. That's a massive win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so uncommon, once again, that you can do this with one item. We obviously are in this trips and experience space, among others, and so ours are just turnkey. It's like, hey, draw the winner. They get to pick from these really cool destinations. Here you go. So it's really, really easy. But don't undervalue Jason's example that he did in real life, where you got a really awesome piece of jewelry donated, or I don't know, an awesome golf cart or something along those lines, that you can utilize.
They had this really cool golf cart, and that's what they did with it. They said, like, well, could we auction this off? I said, why don't you do a big raffle?
Yeah, boom.
You go, okay. And they did, and they sold the golf, and it raised probably twice what, the golf cart was donated, but it brought twice what the value was.
Yeah. So good.
This was an incredibly nice golf cart.
Any questions about that? I'm assuming, if any of that went, any feedback, I'm assuming most of that did not go over your head, anyone in attendance, but let us know. Happy to go down the rabbit hole on a couple of those points. Jason mentioned as well, can't be overstated, utilizing software for that.
And this is something that you can, the beauty of it is if your event is next week, you could do it.
You could still do it.
This strategy in place that fast.
Yep.
Now, you're going to have to use something that you either have or something, if we have it, you can do it because you can put it in that quickly. And then let me tell you, one of the things, this is really important about this strategy. It's not done until the auctioneer, till you pull out the winner.
Totally.
That's why. A few years ago, I talked to somebody into doing this. They did it. I think the price was, they wanted to raise 15,000, so they had 100 tickets for $150. The executive director was a little bit skeptical on it. And they did a higher price, ticket item. They wanted to do something a little nicer. And we get to going. Well, it gets time to start the event and do the ticket raffle, and they had sold like 23 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that's not right. I think they had sold 13 tickets. 13 tickets is all that was sold. And you talk about somebody giving somebody else the stink eye. She was giving me the stink eye.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I said, I'm not done yet. I said, let's see what we can do. So in 10 minutes, I sold 87 tickets from the microphone, less than 10 minutes, 87 tickets from getting up there going, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to raise $15,000. You know what the great cause is? And people started raising their hand, and we just started writing down numbers. One guy at the at the end of it, I said, we've got 5 left. And he goes, I'll take them all. 5 times $150.
That's a common question. Yeah, folks will buy more than one.
Yeah, and so we blew right through it.
Because they want to increase their odds.
They raised $15,000 because they had it sponsored. They got it underwritten, and so it's a really good strategy you can put in place really fast.
Super cool, super fun.
It's a winner. It is.
I think it's fun. It's interactive. You have opportunity to strike lightning in the bottle. I won't keep rambling about this, brother, but you have the opportunity to strike lightning in the bottle if you announce the winner before your live auction and then auction off the golden ticket. Let's say it's a consignment opportunity like ours. We give the option, just one of our products, we give the option for folks to choose between Vegas, a Cabo all-inclusive, or Tuscany. And Tuscany is a dream destination, or I go to Cabo twice a year. I would love that. And I missed out. Yeah. And they're leveraging their giving budget with their travel budget, and you can do an impromptu live auction item right then for the folks that have the means to buy it as an auction item for anywhere between $3,000, $3,500, $4,000 or more. Actually, we've seen it done. We've seen it sold up to 5 times as a live auction item after the announcement of the winner for the $100 golden ticket. Right, so pretty cool opportunity, creative, interactive, fun. Yeah,
and again, you can do it last minute. So if there's no questions about the golden ticket, anybody got a question? Anybody?
Second big revenue enhancer that we talked about.
So we call this the craze, and this is not, we didn't originate it. I mean, it's not the first time this has been done, but what we realized we got to looking at is, we do our live auction, and we know that we try to limit the items. 5 years ago, it was very common, and those of you that know this, have been doing this for a long time. 15, it wasn't uncommon to have 15 items in a live auction, maybe more.
Not like that.
There was one I used to do a long time ago. They'd had 40 items. It was hard work, but it was just the culture back of the fundraiser.
Different now.
And yeah, just different times now. But you'd have all these fun, they do this. Well, what we're seeing is, time's getting compressed. We're pushing for more stuff. We want to get people through. Their
attention is shorter.
Attention
is at a premium of an all-time.
So, now we're getting down to that, 8, 7, 6 item, kind of a live auction. So you got to do some things to still raise money. But the other part is, and we believe this, this is just, I believe this with everything I am, and not just because we're in this business, because we just see what the results are.
Yes, yeah.
People want to go they want to go places. They want to get out. They want to go. They want to do.
In our DNA.
They don't want a bunch of stuff. And so we get caught up in, and what I mean, I'm not suggesting just using our trips, but those are the things that people want to buy in a live auction. That's what the expectation is. They want to get something that they can't get anywhere else. So we start doing these great events and great items and great things. And those are really driven at people who are at the top of the food chain. We should be, which is where we should be pushing, because they're the ones that can spend the most money. The people that can write a check for $10,000 and not miss it. They can take a check, take a trip that costs 20 grand. And so we're doing that. But the other thing that we don't want to do in the live auction is we want to give the equal opportunity receivers. And the way that we can do it, the way that we can reach out and have something that everybody can participate with, is a craze. And that's just our word for it. Whether it's, the Caribbean Craze. I've got an example I'm going to put up here in just a second.
We like naming our stuff.
Yeah, we like naming our stuff. So the Craze is just an opportunity where you take a single item, you price it where you make a certain amount of money, and you sell it as many times as you possibly can. And that's where, back to Trevor's point, people can they leverage their vacation budget with their giving budget. And
make a connection with the destination.
This is a simple strategy. It's again, you can do it really quick, last minute, and it works. It works in all events. I've done a little, very small event. It was basically this guy has a ministry that he sells. It's hunting. They have a hunting channel, but they reach out to men, to connect with men, to create the relationship with God, but it's through hunting. And so there's a small event, 75 people come to it, and they sell all hunting stuff. With one exception, they did a craze. And we sold it 6 times. They netted $6,000. That $6,000 equated to 50% of what they raised with the whole rest of 12 items. Mm-hmm. So my point is, it really is a significant money raiser because the way we do it. So I'm going to share this real quick, and we'll just click through this real fast. And you see it says Cabo Caribbean. We don't have this trip does not there anymore. This is an older presentation I have, but I do, all the tactics are still the same. You can add $5,000 to $10,000 net dollars to your next event. And if you have a vacation travel package that everyone can afford, you open up the wallets for more donors. Not everyone can afford the $10,000 trips. And, again, there are vacation budgets in addition to the giving budgets. Because there's a lot of people that don't have the giving budget to give you $1,000, but they'll pay $2,500 for a trip. This is why this trip works. More Americans travel to Caribbean and Cabo than any other international destination. Again, we have multiple trips that we can do this with. This pricing structure allows you to generate more money per trip purchased. Everyone knows what it is because everybody understands that, especially here in the U.S.
Yeah. It's irrefutable evidence.
Don't combine it with airline tickets. If you start doing it, it's not something that can be duplicated. And make sure that your auctioneer MC understands how it works. These are just best practices. So, and then follow up with an email the day after. And that way your donors
for folks that were in attendance and not in attendance. Just a really, really
cool.
So
like this is an all-inclusive Caribbean. And you take this trip, you play a little video of it. We've got a video, gets up there, and the auctioneer says, ladies and gentlemen, you just saw this. Here we go. Who all here would like to go to the beach? And everybody raised their hand. How many of y'all would give $2,000 to go to the beach? How many of you keep your hand up at 2,500? Oh my gosh, we've got like 10 people that want to go. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to raise a whole lot of money right here tonight. I'm going to sell it to you, number 87, to you, number 25, to you, number 37, for 2,500. You got somebody writing it all down. Everybody starts clapping. Everybody starts getting excited.
Yep.
We're raising money for our, this is what we're doing. And everybody starts writing it down. Next thing you know, you sold it, 6, 8, 10 times.
Yep.
For $2,500. In our case, it's $1,595 for that trip. And you get it right there. It just works. It's a simple thing that you can add in it and do it at the end of the auction. It's a lot of fun. We've seen this work, not just 6 times, 26 times.
Lightning in a bottle. Yeah.
It's one of those things. And we say, that's not the expectation, but it's just the potential.
But it can happen.
It absolutely
and I like to share this story, Jay. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, these are places that you and I are going with our wives. I mean, back when we started with this product, it was the first product that we rolled with, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. I went to Cabo San Lucas in non-peak travel time to an all-inclusive with my wife. And, I'm not a wealthy man, but we like to go on vacation here and there, and we can budget for that and go to an all-inclusive and everything's included and it's awesome, and drinks and food, and it's on the beach. And I went during non-peak travel time, and customs was packed and we could barely get, it took us 2 hours to get through. And I was like, okay, this is the world. This is the market telling us something. You know what? I'm not very, very different from a lot of these folks, these couples and what have you, and donors in these rooms, because I would go to a local, private school event where my daughter goes and buy an all-inclusive item for myself and my wife to go to for $2,500, $3,000, $3,500, and leverage my giving budget with my travel budget because I'm already going there. So we're taking all the thinking out of it. There's some psychology to this. There's a place for $15,000 reserve price, once in a lifetime villas for 10 in Costa Rica that sell for $30,000 and $40,000. I know there's a place for that. That's awesome. And you can raise a lot of money with those items. However, there's a bigger base of the pyramid of the donor landscape where there's a lot of folks that will spend that $2,500 to $3,500. And they go, I'm already going there. You know what I mean? This just makes sense. I already go there once a year, twice a year, or I want to go there because it's cold as heck where I live in the wintertime and I want to be on the beach for a week, that kind of thing. So just bear that in mind. It's just an easy connection to make. Jason was talking about, the short, I'm piggybacking on a lot of things that you said, but shortening the amount of items you have in the live auction. Okay, because attention's at a premium right now, and the donor landscape has changed because donors are consumers. The consumer landscape has changed. So we want to have some really cool items in the live auction that are going to appeal to folks, and they're not going to have too much, there's not going to be too much thought behind it. It's like, yeah, I want to go there. I already go there. Let's do it. That sounds like a great experience. Well, Jason also mentioned to just one last point about advertising. Use the power of these destinations. I mean, we're pro consignment opportunities because we see how well they work for so many of our clients. But regardless of what you have in your event, if it's a cool destination, if it's a cool experience, use that to advertise how cool your event's going to be. That's part of the menu, so to speak. Yeah. And that will get folks excited to buy a ticket and come and participate, so don't underutilize that or underappreciate the value of these exciting experiences that you might put in your event. Again, we've literally seen people do this 2 days before their event. Sure. We got everything. I mean, and I'm surprised because there's not very many people have the stuff we do, we can do this. Yeah. Where we sit, we have a video that you can use, pop that baby up there. It plays, they see it, they see the things, it works. And we have a friend. I said 2 days and sell 10 of them and raise $10,000, $10,000 net dollars into the mission that they just, you're not going to find anywhere else. And so, Jason, a friend of the webinar, 5 days before event, I had one of my live auction items fell out. I had a donor that took away his home, and it's not going to be in the live auction. I want to use your Porta Vallarta all-inclusive. The Craze is cool because it's our bestseller, the Caribbean, but we have a full
Well,
laundry.
we say
Really
the craze
cool.
is the craze is the strategy, but
That's a great, yeah. But we have some really
strategy.
awesome all-inclusive packages to, once again, Cabo, Jamaica, Puerto Vallarta, that are all in that same price point and really digestible and really awesome beachfront properties, right? So he said, and he's been on the webinar a bunch of times. Doug's a friend, really, really cool. Hey, Trev, I need that Puerto Vallarta all-inclusive. I got an auctioneer, send it over to me. We're talking 5 days before the event. Puts it out there on the social channels, plays the video during the live auction, sold 5 of them, and netted $1,300 per item.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, right? So you get the idea, you get the gist. He's netted almost $7,000 with adding one last minute thing. And I'll, Jay as well. I mean, folks do know this, folks don't know this. A consignment opportunity or live auction can be sold multiple times. Most of the time, donated items, as great as they are, and we're pro donations, putting them in the right spot. These consignment opportunities can be sold up to 25 times. You know what I mean, right? If we have the market, if we establish the market in the room and the price is there, we have the supply, right? So you can raise a ton of money with consignment. It doesn't even have to be ours, as a matter of fact, but take that with you if you don't understand the value of a consignment opportunity.
I want to just give you one thing real quick. And I say this with a lot of respect to people that are auctioneers, to what they're out there doing, to doing this. But make sure that your auctioneer understands exactly what you want them to do.
Coach your auctioneer up.
We get this does happen a lot. Not a lot, but it happens. Where we'll get a call, hey Jason, we just sold this, or hey Trevor, we did the craze, but we just sold one of them. It brought $4,000 though. And what happens is the auctioneer gets carried, what I call it, they get auction craze, and they just get carried away with themselves, and they think that they're doing a great job, and they think that, and they are. I mean, they're selling one item, and there's
for the most they can
get. You said, look, I've got to have $2,500 for this, and they sell it for $4,000. They think they did a great job. Did you make money on it? You absolutely did. I don't want to take away and say that you did. Let's just say it's Caribbean, and you're going to make, so you're making $3,000 on it. But or 2,500, so that they sold for $4,000. But if they would just follow the plan and say, no matter where you're at, I want you to back up. Let's say it's Cabo. I want you to back up to $3,000 and sell as many times as you can. Pass it out for $3,000.
Yep.
What do you mean? I think we can sell this. Pass it out 5, 6, 7 times.
Yep.
You tell them that specifically. Now, if they say, "Oh yeah, I've done this and I know exactly," then they do know. But a lot. It's funny.
Not everyone has been
some
educated.
of them, they've just never done it. They don't know.
Yeah, forgive them for they don't know what they do, right? They're just
and they're
they sell an item for the
great
most.
Auctioneer connected to your community, connected to your group.
Yeah.
But they're a real estate auctioneer, or they're a car auctioneer. They're doing something. They've got something else that they do, and they don't do this all the time. It's not a strategy they understand. Even if
they just need to be coached up.
Yeah, you just have to have that really clear. That way they understand. And because it's happened to me before, I had somebody tell me, this is years and years and years and years ago. Somebody told me to do an auction, and they said, here, we have to have $2,000 for this. I sold it for $2,200, thought I had done a great job for them. Well, $2,000 was their cost. So I didn't do a very good job. But if they'd have said, look, this is it, the minimum, we have to make $1,000 on it, $3,000. Okay. Then it just changed. It's all perception, and it does matter. So
absolutely. And it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
We have conversations with organizations all the time. Yeah. Any question about the live auction, consignment opportunities, how to...
I want to come back to we're going to talk about Vacation Station next. And it's just a way that last minute you can turbocharge your silent auction. Because again, these are just things last minute that you can do to do it. And you may have something else going on and you're like, I think we're going to do it. And that doesn't work out. And you go, let's put it in.
Yep.
So, and you can do all three of these. You don't have to just pick one. I mean, we've had people do all three because they're like, we want to make money. So
third revenue generator.
Yeah. And this is, I don't have a big fancy slide or anything for it. We're just going to talk about it, but this is a vacation station. And what we talk about a vacation station is basically just a high supercharged silent auction.
Super silent.
What we have learned is with you put a few key pieces tactically, and if you follow through these tactics, it becomes a really good strategy. And so that's where you're going to raise an extra $6,000 to $10,000 in your event. And all you simply do is take some things. We're going to suggest consignment because this is how it works with the clients we do. But I'm not suggesting you couldn't do it with something else, because you can. Let's say that you have a really cool house in I'm going to use Grand Lake, okay? I'm going to use that for an example. It's a really beautiful lake. People from Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas all go to this lake in northeast Oklahoma.
Wow.
Really beautiful, high end. I mean, there's multi-million-dollar mansions there, 50-foot yachts on it. It's crazy big lake. And somebody's got a house and they go, hey, we want to put this in the live auction. And you go, well, the problem is we really want it, but we just can't. We're maxed out. We've got 5 items. That's all we've got time for. And we want to do that. Don't be afraid to put it in the silent with
Love it.
These following tactics. First of all, put a starting price that you want it to start at. That's the deal. So let's just say it's a pure donation, and let's say it ought to bring $5,000. I'm going to start that thing at like $2,500. That's my minimum bid. I can always lower it, but you shouldn't have to if you're doing these things. Then I'm going to take the price. I'm going to put the bidding increments, let's say $200 a piece, or $250 a piece.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to put a instant win price of $10,000 on it. I'm going to go crazy and double what I think it ought to bring, and just put it way up there. Instant win, $10,000. Now think about it. It's $2,500 down here as a start. $10,000 instant win. That's a bargain. It's a play on psychology, because we all see something, we decide that may have a value. I didn't call it value. I'm not calling it value, retail, nothing.
Yeah, we don't like that
term. Forget that, because we're in the business of raising money. So value.
What's the retail value of someone's donated lake house?
Yeah.
What is the retail value of that? Yeah, exactly. That's why it doesn't make sense.
And all of a sudden, it has the same value. And we're seeing this happen time and time again. And I'd love to have anybody give a testimony of whether this worked or didn't work. And we can talk about it. But these are the simple tactics. Now, with consignment things, let's say you don't have that house, but you need you're doing your math, and you're doing your math of your night of event fundraising. And you said, okay, and we're conservative when we do this. Conservatively, we're saying, okay, we're going to raise $10,000 with the golden ticket. And we've got a raffle. We're going to do, let's say we're doing that. We're going to have our live auction, and we think we've got everything set, but conservatively, we're going to raise $15,000. So that's 25. And then we're going to do our fund to need. We've got a goal to raise 35,000. Okay, so we've got,
we're at 60
now. So 25, we're at 60,000. We really need, but my budget says my minimum deal on my live auction, I need to have another $5,000. I need some more money. My silent auction, I've got my silent auction pegged to bring 10. I need another 10,000. Something like that. And so what you can do is do what we call a vacation station. There's zero risk. You can literally do it last minute. I mean, you need time to print some posters or something. You print the posters. You put 8 to 10 items in your silent auction. Put a special deal on it. Put it on a tabletop. Do whatever you want to with the posters, and you do the same thing. Starting price is 25% over whatever the reserve cost. If the thing costs $4,000, you started at $5,000. Minimum bid's $5,000, and an instant win of $12,000. Come up with some crazy, put something up there. Again, it doesn't matter. This isn't a trick. It's not anything to do. It's just to stimulate people to get them bidding, to get it going. And it works. We're seeing people sell 6, 7, 8 trips doing this, making more than 6, 7, 8,000. They're making $10,000, $12,000, and there's zero risk. And they didn't even sell all the trips. So here's the final thing that you do. Let's say that myself, I'm the high bidder. And I bought that, I wanted that trip, and I buy it at $9,000. And Trevor bid, he was $8,750. We just get somebody to go to that person. Go back to that same person. Go, hey, Trevor, are you still good at $8,750? Because I can sell it again. And Trevor goes, yeah, sure, I'm good.
That was my bid.
She sold it twice. You're never going to offend me. People go, well, what about the person that paid $9,000? in 30 years, I've never seen anybody get offended for something like that.
We're raising money for
We're
charity.
raising money for charity.
You know, so
I
it's
just
okay.
if they do, well, you know, I mean, you just caught the bad break that day, but it's worth it because you still made money.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this is something else. You can do this same thing because the person with the lake house, because I've seen this happen. So the person with the lake house that sold it for, $5,000 at your silent auction, and you had somebody at $4,750, you go back to the person with the lake house and say, hey, would you do this again? And they go, or they'll come to you and go, hey, we'll sell that again. Then you get another $5,000.
That's a good conversation to have.
And you just go to the person in the back at $4,750. Hey, you're $4,750. Are you good? Or
that's a great conversation.
Wherever they're at. They go, yeah, I want to go to that place.
Yep.
And 99% of the time, they're going to say yes. Now, if you try to get them to come up to the bid, you can do that. But I've just, in my experiences, they won't come up to that bid as much as they'll stick to the one that they bid on. How do
you feel about marketing some of those popular destinations? If they're consignment opportunities, you can sell multiple of them. How do you feel about marketing the day after? Hey, this was an exciting item that we had.
I think it's crazy if you don't.
I think so too.
I think you're absolutely insane if you don't.
I think so too.
You need to maximize the opportunity because a lot of people are going to go home and they're going to go, oh man, I wish I'd done that. Maybe they were talking to somebody, they missed it. I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody come up to me, after going, man, I wish I'd have got that item. Wish I'd have bid on that. And this is a week afterwards.
Yeah.
Or they'll say something about it. Like, well, maybe you still can. I can.
Also, with live auction items that sell well, and with vacation station or super silent or silent auction items that sell well, you can sell multiple. You have the advent of your software technology, right? Where you can hit your donor database that weren't in attendance with that buying opportunity and sell a few more packages and raise another $5,000 to $10,000. We see it all the time. So be unabashed at that creative marketing tool. It's another way just to use the technology that you've invested in, and you're invested in your organization when you do that. So definitely make that available to folks. I hope that helps.
Mm-hmm.
We call it a vacation station. We have clients that call it super silent. I had a client tell me, I put 6 or 8 of your items on a 12-foot table. I print off the QR code posters so folks can zap them and see more info, and see a video about the item and who's going to be booking their stay and all that good stuff right then and there. Bidder sheet, mobile bidding, whatever you have. But Jason brings up a really, really good point I want to expand on as well. Be deliberate with your opening bid amounts. With consignment opportunities, whether using ours or someone else's, open the bidding amount at that 25% above the reserve price. So the minute you get a bid, you're in the money. If you don't get a bid, you're out nothing. The paper to print it on.
Yeah. I want to please, I want to make sure that you guys hear what I'm saying though when I say this. This is only for silent auction. This is not for the live auction. Yeah. Live auction's a different animal.
Different ball game.
Yeah, it's a differerent ball game. Your auctioneer, it doesn't matter where he starts, where they end. Because she can start it at $1,000 and it's got to be it's at $10,000. You want it to bring 10 grand, so you're doubling the price. Well, that's just part of it. That's part of the fun of the live auction. But silent auction, you definitely want that bid up there.
Absolutely. Any questions about any of that?
Any questions about this, or really anything to do with those fundraisers? Because the same stuff, it all ties in together.
We haven't trademarked the vacation station yet, so if you want to use that at your next event, feel free. You have our permission to do so.
I want to say we have all the posters pre-printed with the QR code that will take you right to a video, so they can see a video. It's just really cool for people to do, and it works well. So if that's something that you're interested in, hit us up. We're happy to walk you through it. And there's zero cost. It doesn't cost you anything other than printing some posters.
Any questions, feedback about anything?
Somebody's got to have a question about something.
It could be about the boot camp, April 4th and 5th in Dallas, Texas, the first ever HGA boot camp. You could be a pioneer, a Team HGA pioneer by coming to the first ever boot camp. And we'll remember that moving forward as we do more.
I'm not really sure what that's going to get you. Maybe you get an ink pen or something.
A ball cap, maybe. I don't know. I mean, we're creative. We're creative fellows, so we'll figure something fun out. But yeah, any questions you have?
No,
Let us
Mary
know.
Jean, we do not
Oh,
include
thanks, Eric.
airfare in
Yeah,
any of our packages, and
it's
here's
cost
why.
prohibitive. Yeah,
Well,
Mary Jane.
here's the reason why. I'm gonna tell you.
I have a few reasons.
One, most people fly differently. You
Yep.
know, I'm going to fly Southwest because I'm a Southwest guy and that's what I do. And, I've got my points. Trevor, he's a big
American.
Airlines fly. For an example, and got super points. And he's like, I only fly first class. I've got 1,000,000 points and that's what I do. Everybody flies differently. So when you start combining airfare, it creates complications. And so we don't. Now we'll help people book it. We
Yeah.
make nothing for that. There's no money to book airfare, but we help our donors do that. So whenever your donor wins and they come to us, we'll help them do that.
And what we help them with is they have card points, they have miles, they have credits from canceled flights and COVID. And then big picture, even before COVID, we're the lowest cost providers of consignment opportunities in the first place with the value that we're able to deliver as well. We never included airfare because it was cost prohibitive, Mary Jean.
Well, the second thing is I want to give you an example. There are people that do it. And so it usually costs somewhere between $800 and $1,000 to do that.
Per person.
Per person. And we looked at it. We looked to see what it would be. But the thing is, your donor literally could spend an entire day or more trying to get to their destination, because it is not about convenience. It's about,
and it's not discounts,
flights,
and saving that company money.
It's just not good. Yeah, it just doesn't.
Any other questions? I like those questions.
I'm gonna tell you what I do. This is something though. I'm gonna tell you about airfare. I've had people want to combine those tickets, with things, and hey, we've got this airfare. We're gonna combine it with tickets. I'm like, why don't you just sell it separately? They go, what do you mean? I said, you've got 2 American airline round trip tickets to anywhere in the continental United States. Auction them off.
Yeah, for sure.
They wind up the tickets by themselves with no destination sold for more than the destination they were trying to sell them with, because the commodity of what they were. We did this with some Southwest tickets before, because they were like, it was anywhere, anytime Southwest tickets. They bring $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000 for that, because they were, you could just walk up to the counter. You couldn't walk up to the counter, but you could take it and go anywhere. So you have somebody that lives in Florida and they have to go to Seattle. They want to get that flight, and they know they've got a flight that works. I'm just saying, think about that whenever you're, if somebody says,
there's
hey,
moving pieces,
and we're going to do something. There's some ways you can do that and raise some serious money versus, trying to stick it with a package or something. So that's just my
last call for questions. Jason, do you have a winner? And then third, anyone at any time, if you have any questions about, hey, I've got these donated items, I want to know the best place to put them, you want to bounce some ideas off us. Jason and I last week I did a dozen coaching sessions for a half hour. It's free to you. Sign up on our website. I'll
give you an hour if you want an hour. He's faster than I am.
Yeah, rare. Yeah. I sometimes I talk to folks and I go, wow, that really made me very aware of how fast I talk. I should probably slow down a little bit. But anyway, I'm becoming a better listener. But that being said, over time, we offer our time for free. So it doesn't have to involve our items. There's no obligation. We're sharing information. We're in hundreds and hundreds, if not over 1,000 events this year.
We're definitely over 1,000.
Probably be over 1,000 events
last year.
Yeah. But anyway, we have a lot of experience and a lot of information that we want to share. So go to our website, hjafundraising.com. You can click on the free coaching button and just sign up for a session with Jason or I. Anything under the sun. If you want to talk about the weather, that's cool too. We talk about books they're reading, but we like to talk about fundraising more. So anyway, yeah, take us up on that offer at any time. We're happy to help you. So I hope that helps. And then Jay, you've got the randomizer popped out a winner for an auction item.
I do, and it is Ashley Josephson. So everybody get Ashley in for
welcome, Ashley.
Today, being here. Congratulations.
Ashley, have you been here before? Or are you a first-time viewer and a first-time winner at the same time? You hit the jackpot. That's awesome. Thanks so much. Oh, great. I thought so. I didn't recognize you. Well, thanks so much for coming. That's cool. Appreciate you.
I say that because we've had somebody who won 3 times. He won
Let's
3.
not
I
say
mean,
their name.
I
Let's not
can't
that wasn't
remember his
supposed to
name.
happen.
I should remember his name, but it just can't come to
That wasn't supposed to happen. Hey, Ashley, thanks so much for coming. First time. Well, now you're obligated. I'm sorry. You have to come every Thursday. Haha. But hey,
right.
everybody as well, we get asked this question all the time. After 105 episodes, it just bears mentioning. If you can't make it live, go ahead and just register anyway. You'll get the recording within 24 hours automatically. And you can also view these on YouTube at any time, any past episode. We've done 105 of them now. So they're a lot better now, Jason and I were talking about, than they used to be. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All
thanks
right.
a ton, everybody, for coming. Please take us up on our offer. If you have any questions at any time, we're happy to help. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate you, brother. That was
See you guys.
awesome.
You too, Trev.
All right, everyone, have a great Thursday.